After dying from overwork, my soul transmigrated into the villainess of a novel. The original owner was fair-skinned and beautiful with long slender legs and born with a silver spoon in her mouth from a wealthy family. This is practically the definition of a life winner. My eyes instantly lit up. Who cares about the tragic love story between the male and female leads anymore? System warning: don't even think about acting recklessly or else. Me, I've already died. Once, what else is there to fear? When I woke up in a walk-in closet, filled with designer handbags, my forehead drenched in cold sweat. Before I could even adjust to this new body, an elegant, voluptuous beauty burst into the room. My dear, my precious, where does it hurt? Why is your face covered in sweat? She wrapped her arms around my slender shoulders, her brows furrowed with such concern and tenderness, it seemed ready to overflow. I instinctively shrank back slightly, then fearing she might notice something amiss, forced out a few words. Mom, I'm fine. I'd like to be alone for a while. Could you please step out for now? The beautiful woman's eyes flashed with shock as if she couldn't believe these words had come from my mouth. All right, Mom, we'll leave now. Don't be angry with yourself. I watched as she walked out of the dressing room, turning back to look at me every few steps. After the door closed again, I let out a long sigh. This was going to be fun. That's right. I'm not the sweetheart the beautiful lady was referring to, but an overworked office worker who accidentally transmigrated into this cliché, angsty romance novel. Having lived a kind-hearted life, being reborn as the daughter of a wealthy family could be considered karma, rewarding my goodness. Although the original host was a villainess, speaking of the original host, I can't help but roll my eyes, seriously doubting the author's mental state when creating this character. In the original story, the host fell in love with the male lead at first sight during a party. Not only did she pester him relentlessly, but she also threatened her parents with suicide to force an engagement with him. The male lead was no saint either. He promptly fell for the innocent female lead and coldly demanded the original character cancel their engagement. Humiliated and enraged, the original character then launched a series of brain-dead maneuvers, completely squandering her winning hand. All of this served merely to propel the spiral ascent of the main couple's romantic development. What happy ending could a villainess expect once her role was fulfilled? The author discarded her. Her father's company went bankrupt. He died of a heart attack, and her mother, shattered by grief, was institutionalized with mental illness. The female supporting character herself couldn't bear the humiliation and jumped to her death. Fortunately, the current timeline is still before the original host meets the male lead. There is still time to change everything at the dinner table. I finished the exquisite dishes on my plate, set down my utensils, and wiped my mouth. Dad, I'd like to start working at the company tomorrow. Would that be alright? The silverware fell onto the polished marble floor with a crisp clatter. Rachel, did Daddy hear you correctly? You've really thought this through. Mr. Ryan's eyes glistened with tears while Mrs. Ryan widened her beautiful eyes in disbelief, staring straight at me. The original owner of this body had been a little princess whom her parents coddled, endlessly treasured like fragile porcelain in their hands and cherished like precious candy in their mouths. Spoiled and willful, afraid of hardship and fatigue, relying on family wealth, she never sought a job after graduating college, spending her days shopping and squandering money around the world. This completely contradicted my own values of enduring hardship and striving for self-improvement. Mom and Dad have raised me for so many years. It's time I did something for this family. If things truly progressed according to the original plot, the Ryan family's bankruptcy was inevitable. If not now, then when would be the right time to start making money? The moment I finished speaking, two figures rushed toward me from either side. My baby has grown up and become so sensible. Mommy is so proud of you. Whoa, Mrs. Ryan sobbed while kissing my cheeks. That's my Robert Ryan's daughter for you, Daddy. We'll call his secretary right away to arrange a position for you. Author, just how much resentment do you harbor against the villainous family, naming them so carelessly like this? For Mr. Ryan runs two companies. One is a media company and the other is also a media company. Me, I don't want to complain about the author anymore. After all, without them there wouldn't be my current rebirth. After spending a whole day flipping through old newspapers and documents at the company, I discovered a shocking secret. The setting of this book's world is exactly the same as my original world, except the timeline is still 3 years behind my original world. Glancing at the date displayed on the newspaper, my mind raced at lightning speed. In that split second, I conceived a brilliant verification method. In my original world, I had a weekly habit of buying lottery tickets with fixed numbers. Tomorrow happened to be the very day I first purchased those numbers, the same numbers that missed the jackpot by a country mile. That's why I could never forget the winning numbers from that particular draw, even if I tried until my dying day. So right after work, I declined Mr. Ryan's offer to go home together and headed straight to the nearest convenience store near the company. In my excitement, I accidentally bumped into someone buying water at the store entrance. I'm sorry. The person straightened up, turned around, and our eyes met. My heart skipped a beat. His gaze was cold and distant, as if the surrounding air temperature had dropped several degrees. I quickly averted my gaze and carefully stepped around him, making my way to the checkout counter. Boss, I'd like a Powerball ticket. The shop owner kept his head down, absorbed in his mobile game, and asked, without looking up random numbers. No, I'll pick my own numbers and double them. I smoothly recited the memorized sequence from heart. Just as I was about to pay with my phone, a deep magnetic voice sounded above me. Buying lottery tickets is just purchasing a fleeting dream. Use a bit of common sense, analyze the costs and returns rationally, and that fantasy of overnight riches bursts like a bubble. TSK, the weakness of human nature. This man muttering to himself thoroughly infuriated me. Hey, who do you think you're talking to? Buying lottery tickets is just like buying flowers or eating ice cream on the street. It's a little joy in life. Is there really a need to make such a big deal out of it? I'm no longer that timid office girl from my original world. When faced with provocation, I should strike back hard. As I got closer, I realized how tall he really was. I had to tilt my head up just to look him in the eye. Your face is so small, your nose bridge, so straight, your jawline so sexy. Ahem, snap out of it now, not the time to be swooning. As if surprised by my reaction, the man froze momentarily. Before averting his gaze, he glanced at the boss typing on the keyboard, then looked back at me. Originally, I was talking to myself, but now I suppose I'm speaking to you. It felt like punching cotton. This guy was either pretending to be cool or had some kind of emotional disorder. Fury rose in my heart and wickedness surged in my guts. Dare to make a bet with me. 5. What is the bet? He was surprisingly straightforward. I waved the printed lottery ticket in my hand and grinned smugly. Let us bet on whether I can win. If I do, you have to promise to dress up as a clown and hand out balloons at the city's biggest shopping mall. The man's eyebrows lifted slightly as he crossed his arms, seeming intrigued. What if you lose? I'm the chosen one. How could I possibly lose to a mere character in a book mimicking him? I raised one eyebrow provocatively and challenged. Then I'll be at your mercy. Deal. The man's thin lips, previously tense, curved into an almost imperceptible smile. No takebacks. Not to be outdone, I proactively asked for his phone number to prevent him from backing out at the last moment. Miles, the number is 555. Reciprocity is fundamental. Rachel Ryan, I've called you as promised. Remember to save my number. 3 days later, the Powerball drawing took place, and I actually won the jackpot with the prize doubled, netting me $32 million after taxes. My suspicions confirmed. I was nearly delirious with joy after celebrating with the Ryans. They asked how I planned to spend this unexpected windfall. I enunciated each word deliberately by property, because I knew that in a year the nation would embark on an unprecedented urban renewal and new district development campaign. Even properties in the most obscure corners would double in value. This obsession made my eyes gleam. After all, in my previous life, I'd been exploited to death and couldn't even afford a bathroom. Action followed thought. I returned to the original owner's walk-in closet and inventoried all her designer bags and jewelry collections. I kept only a few classic pieces for maintaining appearances and quietly sold the rest through a second-hand luxury consignment store. Just as I was counting the digits in my mobile banking app as balance from the study, Miles called. You won. Why didn't you call me? I don't know if it's my imagination, but I strangely detected a hint of grievance in his voice. It's not my fault. ID just won $32 million. How could I remember some trivial bet? Besides, people in books are so rigid. I won $32 million, not $32,000, not even 320. Shouldn't he at least act shocked? Are you free next Sunday afternoon? Bring your props and meet me at the mall. The other end of the line paused for a moment. All right, see you next Saturday at 2 p.m. 6. After hanging up, I immediately began researching New York City South real estate market. It was shocking. No wonder, it's an international metropolis. The government had already started pilot projects in New York. After selecting my target area and property, I headed straight to the sales center first thing the next morning. A meticulously made-up female salesperson greeted me after giving me a once-over, which she probably thought was subtle. She spoke in a detached tone. Miss Ryan, this development has the highest price per square foot in New York City. Even the smallest unit is 2,000 square feet. Are you sure you want to continue viewing? Judging people by appearances, I sold all the original owner's luxury clothes and replaced them with comfortable, affordable casual wear, and that became this saleswoman's reason to look down on me. Ignoring her, I walked straight to the property model. This one, and that one over there. In an instant, the saleswoman's expression did a complete 180-degree turn, immediately switching to an ingratiating smile, her eyes gleaming with newfound interest. Miss Ryan, would you like all these units? I'll prepare them for you right away. I interrupted her. I don't want these few units. I'll take everything else that's left. The moment I finished speaking, the sales center fell dead silent. They'd probably never seen anyone buy property with such unbridled extravagance before. The saleswoman attending to me was the first to snap out of it, practically ready to enshrine me as she bowed and scraped, fussing over me with exaggerated concern. I'll take you to the VIP lounge first. Let us enjoy some black ivory coffee we've just imported from Thailand. I cut her off again. I'll take the coffee, but looking at your face makes me want to vomit. The saleswoman's complexion shifted like a chameleon's, flushing red, then pale, then green with rage. Just then a man in an immaculate suit, his hair meticulously groomed, approached me with a welcoming smile. Miss Ryan, hello. I am the sales department manager. I will personally assist you from now on. I nodded in agreement, after which the man turned his head slightly and said to the female salesperson, starting tomorrow you don't need to come to work anymore. For the first time, I practiced what I had fantasized about in my original world. One word: exhilarating. From that day onward, I dominated the New York City real estate market, and rumors began circulating about a certain story. If a salesperson encounters a beautiful woman wearing a white t-shirt and jeans at the sales center, they must give 200 of their professional effort. Otherwise, not only will they miss out on a fortune, but they might also lose their job. Of course, all this comes later. Before I could visit many properties, the day arrived to settle my bet with Miles. The square in front of the shopping mall was bustling with people. Miles, dressed as a clown with a green wig, stood there like a wooden stake, expressionless, clutching a bunch of helium balloons. The passing children had probably never seen a clown who couldn't smile, giving him a wide berth when they walked by. Half an hour passed, and not a single balloon had been given away. I couldn't bear to watch any longer. Stepping out of the nearby coffee shop, I walked up to him. Are you trying to be a statue here? The sun was scorching, and his makeup had already begun to melt. A clown's purpose is to bring people joy, but this world doesn't need joy anymore. Having another Chinibu episode, one twitched my mouth and snatched a few balloons from his hands, walking toward the nearest child. Here's a balloon for you, little one, wishing you a happy weekend and healthy growth. The child was overjoyed, thanking me repeatedly in a sweet voice. See, you need to communicate and smile. How else would you know if others don't want your kindness? I ignored the ridiculous grease paint on his face, pressing 2 fingers against the corners of his mouth to forcibly pull them into a smile. Go on, listen to me. The sooner we finish handing these out, the sooner we can wrap up. I've got other things to attend to later. Whether it was because ID provoked him or he simply wanted to end his punishment sooner, Miles finally took that first step forward. Though his words still came out stiff, he managed to give away the first balloon. Where there's a first, there's bound to be a second. Before I knew it, Miles' smile had become much more natural. With all the balloons finally handed out, I was ready to part ways with him. Lately I find myself thinking about you often, Miles suddenly said. What kind of nonsense is this? Is he about to confess his feelings? No, men only slow down. My money-making men are stumbling blocks on the path to success. A surge of heat rushed to my forehead, and I frowned slightly, about to refuse. You don't seem like someone from this world. My eyes widened instantly. My mind struck as if by lightning. Had he discovered I was a transmigrator? Why, what do you mean? I stammered involuntarily. He tilted his head. Are you so happy because you won the lottery? Hey, don't leave me hanging like that. Of course winning is worth celebrating. I stared straight at him, but simply being alive and well is already a joyful thing in itself. From that day on, this strange man named Miles would occasionally come to chat with me, and before I knew it, I'd grown accustomed to his peculiar remarks. Meanwhile, I was racing full speed ahead on the road to riches. Then one day, an electronic synthesized voice suddenly appeared in my mind. Warning, warning, Transmigrated number 250, you must attend the party tonight and complete your mission. Life had been too comfortable lately. I'd almost forgotten I was a transmigrator, but who are you, and what mission? I'm Transmigration System number 007, responsible for supervising your completion of designated plot points. Why are you 007 while I'm 250? I grumbled internally. Because I'm the 7th generation system and you're the 250th person to transmigrate into this book. The 250th, that means there were 249 Rachel Ryans before me. Did they all fail their missions, which is why it's my turn now? You guessed right, all 249 previous transmigrators failed their missions and perished along with this world. After my repeated questioning, 007 finally revealed the reason I could transmigrate into this book and the role I needed to play, holding nothing back. After I committed suicide, the male lead thought that by eliminating the villainous family, he could live happily ever after with the female lead. However, he didn't anticipate that the female lead couldn't accept the fact that she could no longer play the piano, leading her to succumb to depression and take her own life. The male lead completely descended into darkness, vowing to make everyone pay for the female lead's death. He unleashed a deadly virus developed in laboratories across the world, turning the planet into a living hell in an instant, which soon collapsed into utter destruction. This is why the Time Travel Bureau continuously dispatched travelers to prevent the male lead's descent into darkness, aiming to restore this collapsing world. Only by completing tasks and earning points can I return to my original world. I didn't take it seriously, isn't this simple. I just want to interfere with the main couple's relationship, right? Do you think previous transmigrators haven't considered this method? If we don't follow the designated plot, the world will still collapse. Having already died once, why should I fear this? I cross my legs leisurely. If the original host's memory serves me right, the world's collapse won't happen for at least another year, right? Might as well take it one day at a time. 007 seemed to have anticipated my response and calmly stated, if you don't follow the plotline, you won't earn points. Without points, the Rain family's current wealth will vanish entirely. Death couldn't make me yield, but poverty could shatter me in an instant. I immediately collapsed onto the sofa. Why didn't you show up when I first transmigrated here, telling me now? Do you think I'm smarter than those previous 249 people? 007 remained as impassive as a meditating monk, his voice devoid of any emotion. My task is supervision, not guaranteeing the success of the transmigrator. Me sitting around waiting isn't my style, and staring at 007 won't solve anything either. What's my first plot point? 007, who already said this 249 times, answered without hesitation, provoke the male lead to make him meet the female lead. In the original story, because I fell in love with the male lead at first sight during a party, I kept finding opportunities to chat him up and even tried seducing him, which ultimately angered the male lead and made him leave the banquet hall. At that very moment, the male lead encountered the female lead playing piano in the hall and was captivated by her music, instantly falling in love at first sight. Her beautiful eyes, inherited from Mrs. Ryan, shimmered with emotion. Is my mission plot to anger the male lead or to make the male and female leads meet? After all, it was artificial intelligence. 007 froze after a long silence. The electronic voice finally sounded in my mind again. Make the male and female leads meet. In that flash of insight, I seemed to grasp a vague clue. Changing into the sole surviving evening gown in the wardrobe, I attended the banquet with my parents. At the banquet, where guests were toasting and mingling when Mr. Ryan took Mrs. Ryan and me to catch up with business partners, I finally encountered the male lead. Pleasure to meet you, Carter. Rachel Ryan. I nodded at the legendary male lead with shoes on. He barely reached 180 centimeters, thick eyebrows, big eyes, quite handsome, but unfortunately not my type. I observed Carter carefully and noticed he wasn't as nonchalant as described in the book. Instead, he seemed somewhat reluctantly compliant with their parents' matchmaking efforts. If the original host hadn't been so overly eager, perhaps it would have been a different story. It's a bit stuffy inside. Shall we take a walk? Carter didn't refuse, and I practically flew ahead with hurried steps. Rachel, you're wearing high heels. Slow down. Transmigrated number 250. What are you doing? You're supposed to anger Carter here. Carter and 007's voices rang out simultaneously. Rolling my eyes internally, I pushed open the banquet hall doors and strode straight into the main hall. Pausing before the female lead's piano, I pretended to be entranced by her performance. Ah, what heavenly music. Yes, quite pleasant. Carter chimed in beside me. Rachel, do you also enjoy piano pieces? By the time he finished the latter half of his question, I'd already retreated a full meter away. If you like it, listen a while longer. I just remembered something urgent. I need to go. 10. With that, I walked out of the hotel while asking 007 in my mind, did I get the points for this plot checkpoint? 007, I pressed on, did I get them or not? Even though it's artificial intelligence, I could practically hear it sighing. I got it, but you didn't follow the script, so the subsequent plot will descend into chaos, and the Ryan family will still end up with nothing. I couldn't stand hearing that. What's the next plot point? 007's flat electronic voice replied, get engaged to the male lead to advance the romantic development between the male and female leads. Through my time interacting with 007, I've discovered that while it can converse with me in my mind, it can't read my thoughts. At the same time, the completion of the plot point once again confirmed my speculation. As long as the main storyline between the male and female leads is fulfilled, it doesn't matter how the supporting characters behave. Does that also mean anyone could play this supporting role? I went through the original host's memories again, and the name Jessica surfaced in my mind. Jessica was the me's fake best friend who secretly pursued the male lead out of envy for my tall, rich, and handsome fiancé. She played a significant role later when the male lead took revenge on the Ryan family, becoming the chief contributor to my family's downfall. Since you're so in love with the male lead, I'll make it happen for you. I found Jessica's number in my contacts and dialed. Jessica, I met this tall, handsome, high-quality guy today. Introduce him to you. Sure, I'll send you his photo right away. Jessica's family background is even better than mine, and she is quite attractive too. As long as the Carter family still wants a business marriage alliance with her skills, capturing Carter would be a piece of cake. Sitting in the extended Bentley, I suddenly felt somewhat downcast. The Ryan family could go bankrupt at any moment. Doesn't that mean my money-making plans are hanging by a thread? I casually asked 007, does the $32 million I won from the lottery count as the Ryan family's wealth? 007, any wealth not accumulated through the original plot doesn't count. My spirits lifted immediately. So you mean any additional wealth I accumulate can't be taken away by the system? Transmigrated number 250, I advise you not to scheme, fail the mission, and you'll never return to your original world, doomed to perish along with this one in despair. I curled my lips into a smirk. Don't worry, I'll definitely complete the storyline. 11. After returning home, I sat at my computer and researched 2 companies. One was called Jumpstart. In 6 months, it would suddenly rise to prominence and become a leading domestic short video and live streaming platform. Right now, its founder was still nowhere to be found. The other was Grindstone Games. This company was quietly gathering momentum, and 9 months later, their game would take the world by storm. The future superstar founder was currently begging left and right for investments. After reviewing the information, I had a plan in mind. When the Ryan couple returned home, I invited them for a family meeting. Dad, Mom, I want to sell one of our companies. 2 pairs of confused and concerned eyes fixed directly on me. Sweetheart, are you facing some difficulties? You mustn't shoulder everything alone. This was Mrs. Ryan speaking. Rachel, could you explain your reasons in detail? Your father would like to hear your thoughts. This is Mr. Ryan. As an orphan with no one to rely on, I consider myself fortunate to have briefly experienced such heartfelt parental love. Taking a deep breath, I spoke slowly. At the party today, I had a conversation with a senior in the internet industry. In recent years, new media and short videos have developed rapidly, while traditional media has been declining. Soon there will be no place left for us. Mr. Ryan's brow furrowed deeply. What are your plans? I gathered my courage and said in one breath, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Let us sell one company to invest in emerging industries and transform the remaining one. Mr. Ryan's eyes twinkled with starlight in the car. I was just telling your mother what we should do with these 2 companies in the future. Now it seems that Robert Ryan has a worthy successor. I held his hand and gave it a gentle shake. Dad, you have heart disease and high blood pressure. After working so hard all these years, it's time for you and Mom to enjoy your time together. Leave the company matters to me from now on. Upon hearing this, the Ryans hugged each other and burst into tears. The decision to sell the company was settled just like that. Suppressing the moisture in my eyes, I returned to the study. From today onward, I'll be the one protecting the Ryan family. After selling the company, I rushed with the funds to meet the founder of Grindstone Games. The founder seemed to be waiting for another investor, never expecting someone like me to barge in unexpectedly. I had substantial capital and promised only to take dividends without interfering in the company's operations. The founder couldn't stop grinning after swiftly signing the contract. As he was seeing me out of the company, we ran into Carter, who had just stepped out of the elevator. 3 pairs of eyes met. I glanced at the founder, then at Carter, and instantly understood the situation. I had actually snatched Carter's opportunity right from under his nose. Recalling my memories, I suddenly realized that one of the forces Carter used to defeat the Ryan family was grindstone games. If I hadn't arrived first, just thinking about it made the hairs on my body stand on end. Carter was also surprised to see me. Rachel, what are you doing here? Did Grindstone approach the Ryan family too? Since the novel had already arranged for the male lead to invest in Grindstone, there was no way I could stop it. Might as well get straight to the point. I forced a smile and replied, I'm very optimistic about Grindstone's future, so I decided to invest. What about you? A strange emotion flickered in his eyes as he smiled and said, great minds think alike. My family originally disagreed, but I insisted on this opportunity. Then I'll leave you to chat. I'm heading out first. Suddenly a hand grabbed my wrist. Instinctively turning back, I saw Carter quickly release his grip. Visible embarrassment spread across his face. Sorry, that was abrupt of me. I wanted to ask if you'd be free later. I responded with a perfectly polite smile. There is still much work waiting for me at the company. My apologies. Let us arrange another time. The next time I saw Carter was at his engagement banquet with Jessica. Jessica clung to Carter's arm, delicate as a little bird radiating happiness. In stark contrast, Carter couldn't conceal the detachment and indifference in his eyes, the exact same expression he'd worn during their engagement party in the original host's memories. At the evening party, the host was conspicuously absent. Jessica swirled her wine glass, but her gaze remained fixed on the massive diamond ring on her finger, a flash of venom flickering in her eyes. That bitch, Isabel, knowing full well Carter is already engaged to me, still found an excuse to call him away. Just wait till I deal with her. The words sounded all too familiar, except now it was Jessica saying them. I took a sip of champagne without speaking while someone nearby began fanning the flames. ISNT, this classic green tea bitch behavior, acting all pure and aloof on the surface, but secretly playing coy with taken men. Jessica, you'd better watch out. These kinds of women are the hardest to handle. 13. As soon as I got home, I couldn't wait to ask 007, did we get the engagement plot point credits? 007 seemed to have crashed. No matter how much I called out, it wouldn't respond. I waited a full 24 hours before 007 came back online. Got them truly worthy of being a 7th-generation system. It's even learned to mimic that reluctant tone humans use when speaking. But I was relieved to at least get the points. Where have you been? You're only replying to me now. 007's response deserved an Employee of the Year award from the Transmigration Bureau. Although you completed the plot mission, it severely deviated from the original content. I reported this system bug to my superiors. Me, what did your superiors say? 007, the plot was completed, the world didn't collapse, so the report was rejected. I burst out laughing. The superior of mine was quite adaptable. Completing this crucial milestone of the engagement shouldn't be too difficult aside from the climax where the female lead gets kidnapped and has her tendons severed. But come to think of it, why do all the authors of these melodramatic angst-filled love stories love writing kidnapping plots for the female lead? 007, can you tell me all the plot points I need to complete from now on? 007 remained silent. After a while, all the plot missions I needed to complete automatically surfaced in my mind. Thank you. 007 still didn't respond. Was he planning to completely ignore me now? After organizing all the tasks, I picked up my phone again and dialed Jessica's number. I feigned a tone of great surprise and said, Jessica, I think I saw Carter and Isabel shopping together on the street today. You and Carter, are you two okay? Oh, was I mistaken? Carter has been with you all day today. That's good then. Jessica had said the exact same words to the original host. In fact, one could say that Jessica was a key instigator in the original host's escalating abuse of Isabel. Rachel, Ryan, thank you for lending me this body and a pair of parents. Consider this my gratitude to you. In the days that followed, the electronic voice of 007 would occasionally echo in my mind. Plot mission 13 completed. Plot mission 17 completed. 14. While Jessica was completing the plot missions for me, I wasn't idle either. In an abandoned industrial zone, I finally found the head of Jumpstart Company sitting in meditation. Big shots will be big shots. Even their hobbies are this peculiar. He was skeptical about my intention to collaborate, since in this world traditional media and new media industries were still locked in a kill or be killed zero-sum game. Since I came from the future, I anticipated his every move. I listed out the resource advantages and developmental bottlenecks of Ryan Media that I had long prepared and sincerely expressed my desire to integrate with new media. Persistence pays off. After several rounds of negotiations, Ryan Media became the second largest shareholder of Jumpstart. At the same time, Jumpstart's team also entered Ryan Media to assist in its transformation. After successfully handling Jumpstart Corporation, Mr. Ryan couldn't stop praising me. Mrs. Ryan went even further, bragging to everyone about having such a capable and beautiful daughter. One day when I returned home, Mrs. Ryan, glowing with excitement, pulled me aside to gossip. This afternoon during mahjong, I just complimented you twice, when Mrs. Lin immediately started complaining. Mrs. Lin is Jessica's mother. Oh, what is she complaining about? It's all about her daughter and her fiancé. Mrs. Ryan sighed before continuing. She says Carter is fooling around with other women, which has made Jessica throw tantrums at home all day. Sweetheart, it's a good thing you didn't take a liking to him. Back then our family wouldn't dare accept such a man. Thinking of Mrs. Ryan's fate in the original story, I wrapped an arm around her shoulder and said affectionately, no man can compare to my parents. I want to focus on my career and take good care of you both. My precious sweetheart, your words make my heart sweeter than honey. Mom beamed. Who would have thought Jessica would ask to meet me the very next day? Not even thick foundation could conceal the dark circles under her eyes. Rachel, I need a favor. My heart skipped a beat, but I maintain the performative loyalty of our plastic friendship. What is it? If it's within my power, I'll definitely help. As expected, it was about Carter and Isabel. Since you know Carter, go talk to him for me. Tell him not to break off our engagement. I really love him. At least she wasn't asking me to kidnap Isabel. Before I could respond, Jessica actually burst into tears. It's all that bitch's fault. She ignored my warning and seduced Carter. That's why I couldn't help but scratch her face. Even as the villainous backup, the author had written her to be stunningly beautiful. Seeing her weeping like a rain-drenched pear blossom, and considering I was the one who dragged her into this mess, now that I've essentially mastered the system's bug, I couldn't help but feel a pang of compassion. Carter treated you like this, so how about you just break off the engagement with him? 15. Jessica, who had been crying so pitifully just moments ago, suddenly sharpened her gaze until it looked like two freshly honed blades. It gave me such a fright. She ground her teeth and said, unless he's dead, don't even think about me canceling the engagement. Fine, if you insist on going down the path of darkness, I want to stop you. Alright, I'll call Carter right now. I pulled up my phone contacts and found the number ID saved, but never dialed. The call was answered immediately. Rachel, I heard you've been quite active in the business world lately. What brings you to think of me now? Wait, why does he sound so cheerful? Shouldn't Carter be busy trying to earn Isabel's forgiveness right now? Jessica told me you two have had some misunderstandings recently. Jessica, Carter cut me off, his voice turning low. Stay out of this. It doesn't matter if she went to you. I'm not marrying her. Jessica had been eavesdropping right by my ear. She snatched the phone and snarled at the screen. You think you can sleep with me and then call off the engagement, Carter? I'm telling you, no way. Me, wasn't he the male lead supposed to be a pure-hearted virgin who saved his first kiss for the female lead? What the hell is happening now? Before I could think it through, my phone hit the ground with a loud crash. Turning around, Jessica was already running out of the restaurant with her bag. My brand new iPhone. Forgetting about Jessica's escape, I rushed straight to my phone. The screen was completely shattered, and as if that wasn't bad enough, Miles chose that exact moment to call. No matter how much I tapped the screen, the answer button wouldn't budge. The last shred of guilt I felt towards Jessica vanished into thin air the moment she smashed my phone. After changing my phone and reinserting the SIM card, I noticed Miles had called 6 more times in succession. I called back. Miles, what's up with the call? The person on the other end sounded more anxious than me. What happened? Normally, you'd answer within 13 seconds. What a weirdo saying weird things, but at least my low mood from the damaged property improved somewhat. Yes, you're so impressive. My phone got smashed. To prevent phone drops, you should keep your hands dry. Avoid one-handed operation, and phone cases can effectively cushion the impact. Listening to Miles finish his speech would probably take until nightfall. When we first met, I thought he was an aloof and cool guy, but the more I got to know him, the more I realized he's actually a chatterbox. Hold on, what do you want from me? The voice on the other end of the line went silent for a few seconds. Hey there, a super bacteria exhibition this Saturday. Want to go check it out together? I sighed silently in my heart. Last time it was human organs preserved in formaldehyde, and now it's super bacteria. Where did he get the idea that I was interested in these bizarre things? I want to go unless you dress up as a giant bacterium. Fine, I agree. You're agreeing to such ridiculous demands without hesitation. Rachel, Ryan, you should honor your own words. Me sigh, alright then, really can't do anything with him. 16. In the blink of an eye, New York City's housing prices soared like a rocket, skyrocketing straight up. Meanwhile, Jumpstart Company made strides in the new media sector, with its user base exploding almost overnight, becoming a national-level app in no time. Thanks to hitching its wagon to Jumpstart Company, Ryan Media successfully transformed itself, and its stock price surged right along with it. As Jumpstart Company's second-largest shareholder and Ryan Media's new leader, my net worth naturally climbed steadily higher. Countless financial magazines lined up to interview me, but I politely declined them all. Making fortunes quietly and remaining an invisible tycoon has always been my life philosophy. Yet reports about me still surfaced across major media outlets. Achievements, hidden fame avoided. Ryan Media's new leader ventures into new media. Rachel, Ryan, a high-stakes gamble that built a billion-dollar empire. Media mogul and investment prodigy, the past and present of Rachel Ryan. Mrs. Ryan lounged on the sofa reading a magazine, laughing so hard her entire body shook. My darling is simply brilliant. From now on, I'll be walking with my head held high in front of the other society ladies. Mr. Ryan has regained much of his vitality since stepping back from the front lines, speaking with robust energy now. Walking with your head held high, careful not to strain your neck, ha ha ha. No one could tell who burst out laughing first, but the laughter of our family of 3 soon filled the villa. In the study, I secretly pulled out the magazine hidden in the drawer, grinning from ear to ear. The feeling of becoming a winner in life is damn satisfying. My reputation as an investment expert spread widely in the industry, with investment banks and companies flocking to Ryan Media's doorstep like moths to a flame. As the saying goes, even pigs can fly when standing at the wind's peak. Knowing my own limitations, well, I sold 90 of my properties at their peak and reinvested the money into various emerging industries of the future. Drowning in the sea of money making, I naturally had no time to pay attention to the love triangle between Jessica and the main couple. Agent 007 also fell silent like a dud firecracker, not making a single sound. But no news is good news, which suited me just fine. On the very day Grindstone Games went public during the celebration banquet, Agent 007's electronic voice abruptly rang out. Transmigrated number 250, signs of world collapse are intensifying. You must personally complete the next plot point. 17. It turned out that Jessica's plan to kidnap Isabel was discovered by her father the day before. Unlike Mr. Ryan, Mr. Lin didn't indulge Jessica and immediately sent her abroad overnight. Jessica's failed kidnapping of Isabel triggered a butterfly effect. In the original novel, it took a full 50 chapters from the female lead's plan to kidnap Isabel to Carter's successful rescue before the main couple completely resolved their misunderstandings. With Jessica's departure, all the intervening plotlines vanished. Tomorrow was supposed to be the day when the main couple would confess their feelings and clear up their misunderstandings. Yet at this moment Carter was still on a business trip in a neighboring province while Isabel was safely performing with the symphony orchestra. Their relationship still hadn't broken through that thin layer of paper between them. What exactly is my mission? Agent 007 regained his usual bravado and declared loudly facilitate the resolution of misunderstandings between the male and female leads and help establish their romantic relationship. In the coffee shop, I sat close to Isabel for the first time. She was the typical innocent female lead from TV dramas, fair-skinned with a petite face, delicate features, and large expressive eyes. Carter got engaged to Jessica partly because she wouldn't take no for an answer, and partly because he thought you didn't like him. Isabel took a graceful sip of coffee and asked, did Carter send you to plead his case? I quickly waved my hands, putting on a deeply pained expression, though internally, I was cringing hard enough to dig a castle with my toes. Carter's a good friend of mine. Seeing him lose his appetite and wander around like a lost soul every day really worries me. Besides, Jessica has already gone abroad. Their marriage is completely off the table now. Why don't you be the bigger person and forgive Carter? She seemed slightly surprised, then quickly suppressed the corners of her mouth that were about to curl up. Are they really over? After more than a year of honing my skills in the business world, my ability to lie had become impeccable. Carter loves you desperately. He.s. just thin-skinned and stubborn, too embarrassed to say it to your face. Isabel suddenly became bashful. If he doesn't say it out loud, how can I believe it's true? Sis, I'm right here waiting. You're right. Actually, I also invited Carter. He should be arriving any minute now. But don't let him know what I just told you. I winked at her. You know how men are. They care about their pride. No sooner had I finished speaking than the waiter escorted Carter over. 18. I didn't tell Carter that Isabel was here too. His body stiffened momentarily before quickly regaining its composed nonchalance. Isabel, what are you doing here too? Isabel remained silent, lowering her head with downcast eyes, her slender fingers stirring the ice cubes in her glass. I stepped forward to smooth things over. I heard there's some misunderstanding between you two. I thought maybe you could sit down and talk it out. In the original story, Carter was willing to destroy the entire world for Isabel. Such love needs no further explanation for me. I quietly sent Miles a text message. Soon my phone rang. I'll step out to take this call. You two keep chatting. With that, I stood up and hid behind some potted plants. Why did you ask me to call you? Miles' flat voice came through the receiver. Mission accomplished. I'm in a great mood. I like it. Like, what do you like? Why are you flustered? I never said I liked you. Teasing Miles has become an indispensable joy in my life. After bantering with him for a few minutes, I hid for another 20 minutes before coming out. By now, the male and female leads must be all lovey-dovey with each other. I hummed a cheerful tune softly as I returned to the private room. Why does the atmosphere feel a bit off? Could it be because my presence as an outsider is ruining their mood? Without sitting down, I picked up my bag from the seat. There's an urgent matter at the company I need to handle. I'll take my leave first. Just as I stepped out of the private room, my wrist was grabbed again. Rachel, don't misunderstand. Let us talk properly. Misunderstand? What exactly? Am I misunderstanding? Completely baffled, I let Carter pull me aside without resistance. Isabel and I were not in that kind of relationship. I shook off his hand, my heart pounding so hard it ached against my ribs. Dude, I'm begging you, don't say anything reckless. Of course, just my luck. The very thing I feared came to pass. Rachel, actually, I've always liked you ever since we met at that party. I've had feelings for you. What a bolt from the blue, Carter. You must be joking, right? The person you like should be Isabel. My facial muscles had stiffened. It was difficult to even force a smile. Carter shook his head after we exchanged numbers. You never contacted me, and whenever we met you acted indifferent. I gave up on myself and agreed to the Lynn family's marriage alliance, but Jessica was aggressive, bullying Isabel at every turn. I couldn't stand it anymore, so I decided to break off the engagement, not because I like Isabel. Today when you asked me out, I came specifically to confess my feelings to you, who knew Isabel would be here too. 19. It seems Carter not only has an alphabet fetish, but is also a green tea boy. I took a step back, sneering internally. I've received your confession, and my answer is, I reject. I turned my head toward the private room, where Isabel stood at the doorway, her tea-colored eyes unreadable. Isabel is the right match for you. I already have someone I like. That's all. Goodbye. I don't know how I got home in a daze. I collapsed onto the sofa, my mind a tangled mess. 007, I can't complete this plot point. Do you think Carter might destroy the world out of spite after I rejected him? Woo-woo, all the family fortune I worked so hard to accumulate. How can I bear to lose it? Hey, 007, are you listening? 007007007. Damn, could it be that the transmigration system ran away early because it knew the world was about to collapse? After accepting this harsh reality, I suspended all company affairs, treating it as a vacation for myself. Every day I stayed by Mr. and Mrs. Ryan's side, enjoying the happiness of family life. During that time, I went to see another bizarre exhibition with Miles. Just one day before the original male lead was supposed to poison me, 007 actually came back. Why did you come back to witness my miserable death? 007, devoid of worldly desires, ignored my sarcastic tone and calmly delivered his final mission to me. According to the Transmigration Bureau's investigation, the true cause of this world's collapse wasn't the male lead. The deadly virus was developed by the head of the pharmaceutical company's laboratory owned by the male lead's family. It was this person who manipulated the male lead into spreading the virus worldwide. Because of you, this hidden plot was exposed, so even though you haven't earned all the points, the Transmigration Bureau is willing to give you a chance to find this person and prevent the world's destruction. What kind of nonsense is this? Is it too late for me to call the police now? People native to this world can't alter the plot, only someone who doesn't belong here like you can accomplish this. 20 The world is ending tomorrow and you're only telling me now. How am I supposed to know where to find someone? 007? I'll send you the lab clues, you just need to find him and convince him. I was furious. Do you think my mouth is blessed or something? Just convince him like it's that easy. Also, can I request to change my transmigration system? You're always skipping work and I'm very dissatisfied with you. 007 wasn't angered by my provocation. Instead, he gave me unprecedented affirmation. You've surpassed all 249 previous transmigrators to reach this point. I believe you can succeed. Me, since when did AI learn to paint rosy pictures too? Before I could continue complaining, the laboratory clues automatically unfolded in my mind. I followed the clues to the laboratory, but the security was tight. Ordinary people couldn't get in at all. Just as I was about to force my way in and find a chance to knock out the mastermind with a single blow, Miles walked out of the lab. For a moment we stared at each other wide-eyed. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? We spoke simultaneously, then stepped forward at the same time. Miles was wearing a white lab coat and goggles, looking at me with an inexplicably adorable expression. I work here, truly heaven sent. Coming to my senses, I tightly grabbed his sleeve. Can you take me inside to meet your lab director? Miles avoided eye contact. What do you want with him? Don't get jealous for no reason. I need his help with something extremely important. Miles curled his lips into a smirk. Then tell me first, and I'll decide whether to help you. Seeing time slipping away second by second, I stopped wasting words with him and grabbed Miles' hand to dash toward the laboratory. He grabbed my arm in turn, forcing me to stop. You're already holding the person in charge's hand. Where else do you want to look? I couldn't believe my ears and froze instantly. This harmless-looking weirdo before me was actually the great demon king who would destroy the world. My throat suddenly felt terribly dry, and I unconsciously swallowed twice. Are you lying to me? Miles tilted his head like a wronged puppy. I have no reason to lie to you. If you don't believe me, go ask the security guard. 21. I took a deep breath and spoke with difficulty. Are you planning to destroy the world? Miles avoided my gaze, and I knew something was wrong. After a long silence, he finally spoke. Yeah, that's the plan. My heart sank even further. But after meeting you, this plan was put on hold. Suddenly, I feel like this world isn't so bad after all. It was like riding a roller coaster of emotions. All the blood in my body rushed back to my heart, swelling until I thought it might burst. I'm just a mere villainous side character. Is it really okay to force this much drama onto me? I pulled Miles close, burying my face deep in his chest, my voice muffled. Then you can shelve this plan indefinitely. Miles' heart was pounding fast and hard. Rachel, I want to ask you. His words were drowned out by 007's announcement. Transmigrated number 250, your mission has been successfully completed. You will now be sent back to your original world. Then I lost consciousness. When I woke up again, the air was thick with the smell of disinfectant. My eyelids felt as heavy as lead. Summoning all my strength, I opened my eyes to see a young woman in a nurse's cap standing before me. I heard her shout ecstatically, the patient in bed 7 is awake. Call Drive Zhang immediately. Was I in a hospital soon? Hurried footsteps approached from a distance. A person who looked like a doctor began examining my body. Anna, how are you feeling now? Anna, the name the orphanage had given me. Didn't I die from overwork? How am I alive again? My throat was so dry it felt like it was on fire. I tried to speak, but only a breathy whisper came out. The doctor asked questions, and I could only nod or shake my head. It's a medical miracle waking up after being in a coma for a month. If this case hadn't been exposed by the media and caused a strong public reaction, this girl wouldn't have had the money to hold on until now. Yeah, I heard she's an orphan. How pitiful. The surrounding voices buzzed, but I felt no joy in my rebirth, only bitterness. My thriving business, my parents, the person I loved, all gone. What kind of life winner was I? Just a fleeting dream that vanished into thin air. On the second day after I woke up, 2 people followed the nurse during her rounds. The moment I saw them, I could no longer hold back my tears. I thought it was a hallucination, wiped away my tears, and tried to turn over. After the door closed again, I let out a long sigh of relief. This is my precious darling, the child our Ryan family has been separated from for 20 years. My body stiffened instantly. Was I still inside the book? A man who looked exactly like Mr. Ryan helped the beautiful woman up, his eyes also brimming with tears. Rachel just woke up. Don't lean on her. 2 weeks later, I was discharged from the hospital. Mrs. Ryan held my arm as she painted a picture of our future life together. Sweetheart, your father and I currently live in a villa on Long Island, which is a bit far from the city center. If you prefer livelier surroundings, you can choose to live in one of our city properties. Our family may not be the richest in the country, but we're definitely among the top 10 from now on. We won't let you suffer outside anymore. Listening to Mrs. Ryan's chatter, we soon arrived at the underground parking lot. Standing beside the extended Bentley was a tall, familiar-looking figure. Mrs. Ryan leaned in and whispered in my ear that your arranged fiancé, Miles. He has been waiting all these years for you to return. The end.